Hi. I broke the cardinal rule in broadcasting. When in doubt, assume the camera is on. That was I don't know, a couple of years ago, and they still have fun with it. Happy Wednesday, the 11th day of March 2020. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We have a very, very busy show for you today. There's lots going on and some more local reaction and some closures and some cancellations due to the coronavirus outbreak, which of course has reached over to our part of the state. It did last week, as you well know by now. We'll touch on that. There's a lot to talk about when we get to the news. Big change in the weather coming. Huge change, especially Friday and Saturday. Saturday is going to feel more like January than March. It's going to be cold. We're going to get some snow. We're going to get some measurable snow. We're going to have about an inch of snow on the ground here by the time you get up on Saturday morning. I kid you not. We'll talk about that with the weather forecast. Also, we have some sports. We got Mariner highlights to pass along to you. Liking that. Gonzaga wins the West Coast Conference Tournament. Nicely done, Gonzaga. We'll talk about that. Also, we have the obscure holiday today in history. Mike McNally's got an opinion. We got some celebrity birthdays coming your way. And yesterday, our special news correspondent Steve Hare had a chance to sit down with Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett and Douglas County Sheriff Kevin Morris. It's something you're going to be very, very interested in. They're looking for volunteers for a very important job. That very important interview with Steve, Brian, and Kevin will come in the back half of the hour. Partly cloudy skies, 36 degrees, going to be a beautiful day today. Next couple of days going to be beautiful and mild. And then, like I said, come Friday, wow, winter makes one more comeback. Couple minutes after the hour. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Good looking view from our cross camera. It's tilted down just a little bit. I always use that little hump that you see at the bottom of your screen on where exactly we have that PTZ camera positioned. Yesterday's high was 54, pretty much right what they predicted. Our normal high would be 51, so it was just a little bit warmer than normal. Sunrise this morning will happen at about 7:20. Sunset tonight, 7:02. That's 11 hours and 42 minutes of daylight. It's just in a different location now with daylight saving officially kicking in. That's a good-looking sunrise, isn't it? Camera number 2, where are we off to? It's guessing for me. Oh, boy. I haven't got a clue. That's the Tumwater Canyon. Okay. So Leavenworth is down there. Hi, Leavenworth. I should have figured that out because you can see the sun is starting to climb up over the mountains there. So good morning to our friends in Leavenworth, the Bavarian village. It's good to have you on board on this Wednesday. Camera number 3. That is, I should know this. I'm seeing a body of water. I'm seeing traffic. Is that the Cascadian? Hey, from the roof of the Cascadian. We actually have a couple of cameras up on the roof of the Cascadian, so it looks to me that that's pointed almost directly to the southeast, towards the East Wenatchee area. If that's what I'm thinking, that's about what it looks like to me. We had some bright lights in the studio, and the monitor that I look at is quite a distance from me, so sometimes it's hard for me to pick out details, but I got that one right. Camera number 4. Camera number 4 is, well, the Appalachians camera looking at Kashmir, the lovely community of Kashmir. It used to be the early American town of Kashmir. They ditched that moniker about 10, 15 years ago for reasons unknown. Well, I don't know anyway. Good morning to our friends in Kashmir. You can see the morning commute. A lot of people, of course, live in Kashmir, but they work in the Wenatchee Valley. So that's usually a pretty busy stretch of highway down there. Highway 297 between Kashmir and little old Wenatchee town, USA. Good morning to Kashmir. Lots of blue skies there. 3 minutes after the hour, we got some slides to show for you to give you an idea of what we're in for. There are some big changes coming this week. Not a lot to talk about today or tomorrow. It's going to be warm, actually. Very mild temperatures. The winds that we're going to have, and it's going to be breezy, is actually going to be some mild winds out of the west. So it's pretty dry and seasonable weather all the way through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Winter comes back in a big way. Not a lot of snow, but we are absolutely pretty sure all the models are in agreement that we are actually going to get some snow right here in the Wenatchee Valley, especially on Friday night. In fact, we have another slide about winter returning on Friday and Saturday, so there you go. Light to moderate snow in the lower elevations. The mountains are going to get more snow. It's going to be a little windy at times. It's going to get very cold. Very cold indeed if you take in the afternoon high temperatures, which are not going to be very high at all. And the combination of a little bit of wind, it's going to make the wind chills seem really chilly. Friday night and Saturday is going to feel very cold indeed. So batten down the hatches. Here we go. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug. And your home's going to need a hug this weekend. There you go. Lots of sunshine today, a little on the breezy side, nothing we can't handle. We'll top off at about 59 degrees. Winds could be gusting as high as 30. Mild winds this morning, breezy this afternoon, 15 to 20 miles an hour, a northwest wind. But again, gusts as high as 30 miles an hour are distinctly possible today. It's going to be kind of a warm wind. Clear skies tonight, still breezy. Northwest wind 7 to 15 miles an hour. We'll dip down to about 32. Sunshine Thursday, cooler, high of about 52 degrees, and clouds will start thickening up on Thursday night. We'll dip down to about 32 Friday. The big change is coming. We are going to wake up Friday with a little bit of snow. It looks like it's snow likely on Friday morning. It switches over to a rain-snow mix by Friday afternoon. Whatever snow we get is going to melt because we'll be up at right around 40 degrees. Friday night, it is going to snow. Looks pretty good. It's going to be rainy, and then it switches over to a rain-snow mix. And then in the overnight hours, Friday night into Saturday, the snow level goes down to 600 feet. We still have that system. So they are saying we're going to get about an inch of snow here in the Wenatchee Valley Friday night. So when you wake up Saturday morning, you're going to go, what the heck is going on? We're going to have about an inch of snow by the time the sun comes up on Saturday. And then look at Saturday, only 33 degrees, lots of clouds, and still a little bit of light snow coming down on Saturday morning. So we're going to go from 58, 59 today to 33 on Saturday. The overnight low 16 degrees, big Arctic blast of cold air coming down from the northeast in Canada, and that's what's going to happen. And then the sun comes back, but we're going to still be chilly. Those highs on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and those lows, those overnight lows, pretty much all through the forecast period below normal. So it looks good today, not bad. Thursday, the change starts happening Friday, and again, we're going to have about an inch of snow coming down Friday night into Saturday, and then very cold and cloudy and wintry on Saturday. So be forewarned. There's your forecast. All right, 7 minutes after the hour to the mountain passes we go. There's only one advisory. That's Stevens, I-90 right now. That's a live shot. You're fine. No advisories, no restrictions. In fact, it's raining on I-90 with an elevation of just above 3,000 feet. Of course, Stevens Pass, their elevation is just about 4,000 feet. They're getting snow. And you got some compact snow and ice on the roadway. It is snowing on Stevens Pass, and they have a traction tire advisory there. No advisories or restrictions on Blewett. It is not snow. Well, it's kind of a rain-snow mix. It's not really sticking to the ground. The roadway is mostly bare and wet, so even though there is some precipitation, it's not really affecting your commute. So no advisories or restrictions on Blewett. No advisories or restrictions on I-90. But Stevens Pass, as you see there, traction tire advisory, compact snow and ice on the roadway. It is snowing as we speak on Stevens Pass. Now, as far as the snow totals for the mountain passes today, not a lot, about an inch. That's all they're looking at on I-90. The big snow event for the mountain passes Friday and Friday night, just like us. We're going to get snow, so are the mountains. They're going to get quite a bit of snow. Friday night, 3 to 5 inches of snow in the Cascades, and an additional 2 to 4 inches of snow on Friday night. So 3 to 5 Friday, 2 to 4 inches possible on Friday night into early Saturday morning. So everybody's going to be white when we wake up on Saturday morning. For some strange reason, I'm not looking forward to that because it means the golf courses will be closed 8 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. There is a lot of news to get to on this Wednesday, and I'm going to give it to you in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Clear skies, 33 degrees at 10 minutes after the hour. We'll be in the upper 50s with lots of sunshine and windy conditions. Slightly cooler, lots of sunshine still on Thursday. Things start changing Friday. Snow Friday night into Saturday. And Saturday, our afternoon high will be lucky to get above freezing. Here's what's making headlines. Back on Monday, the Chelan Douglas Health District issued an advisory for people who may be at risk for the COVID-19. Among the things that they are advising people to do, and this is directly from their press release, is reduce your contact with others by staying home, avoiding group gatherings and unnecessary travel. And if you are responsible, again, this is from the Chelan Douglas Health District, if you're responsible for planning any group events, cancel or postpone them if they are not absolutely necessary. And to that end, two significant events from yesterday. The Wenatchee School District issued a press release yesterday, and I'm going to quote directly from it. Due to the spread of the COVID-19 virus to our region, and the Chelan Douglas Health District advising schools and other organizations to avoid bringing groups of people together. In response to this growing health concern, the Wenatchee School District has made the decision to cancel all indoor sports, events, and meetings involving the public. It starts today, and it goes through the conclusion of spring break, which is on April 5th. Outdoor events are not affected by the cancellation. So the cancellation will impact the parent-student-teacher conferences, which were supposed to be held this Thursday and Friday. Those have been canceled. All non-school organized indoor activities have been canceled for the Wenatchee School District. All public meetings, public events and functions, athletic and extracurricular indoor practices have been canceled, and any community user groups who plan on using Wenatchee School District facilities indoors, those have also been canceled. We understand that the Chelan School District and the Manson School District has followed suit, and those cancellations go through April 12th for Chelan and Manson, and again for the Wenatchee School District, that goes through the end of spring break, which is April 5th. Also, the Grant County PUD issued a press release yesterday, and again, I'm going to quote directly from that. As a precautionary measure to protect the safety of customers and employees, all Grant PUD facilities closed to public access until further notice. Only employees who are identified as mission-critical personnel, in other words, the folks who operate the generating plants and the power systems and the fiber network, they are going to report to work. All other employees of the Grant PUD, be it contractors and vendors, they're being ordered not to report to their work locations until further notice. And in addition to all of that, the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center closed Monday night. As you well know, they're not going to reopen again for at least a couple of weeks over the concerns about the COVID-19 virus. The center's thrift store is included in the closure. Dave Tosh is the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. He said the Wenatchee facility serves a population vulnerable to the coronavirus, and they want to exercise caution. About 500 to 600 people a day visit the center for a variety of activities. They also serve a daily lunch. Tosh said they hope to reopen Wednesday, March 25th. The senior centers in Leavenworth and Chelan have followed suit. Their closures are expected to last a couple of weeks. Of course, one elderly Grant County resident died on Saturday of a coronavirus infection, and health officials say they're contacting visitors at the Quincy Senior Center who may have been exposed. Dave Tosh will be my guest on this show tomorrow. Well, a lot of institutions, as you know, have temporarily shut their doors. Events have been postponed or canceled because of the COVID-19 outbreak, but the KPQ Home Expo 2020 is still a go. It is this weekend at the Town Toyota Center on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Organizers encouraging all people who show up to wash their hands, practice hygienic social contact while they're there. Of course, we will be there alongside all kinds of other vendors and presenters. The KPQ Home Expo is still a go for this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In other news this morning, a company's spokesman says the Rite Aid pharmacy in Wenatchee closed yesterday, and the rest of the store will close on March 20th. A notice posted on the door of the store says the Rite Aid pharmacy closing after March 10th. That's yesterday. Customer pharmacy records will be transferred to Albertsons, which is just right down the street. Christopher Saravisi of Rite Aid's corporate communications office confirmed yesterday that the entire store in Wenatchee will close. Last year, Shopko, of course, announced they were closing their store, which is right next to Rite Aid. Winco plans to open a grocery store in that location. A former sheriff's deputy who's also the brother of the retiring Chelan County Commissioner wants to take over his brother's job. Dale England of Manson says he's going to run for the seat, which is now being held by his brother, Doug England. Dale England was a 25-year sheriff's deputy until 2008. That's when Sheriff Mike Harum fired him over a prank phone call to a coworker that went to the wrong phone number. He was later reinstated and allowed to retire after a court settlement. England is also the founder of an agricultural business in the Lake Chelan area, and he says if he's elected, and I'm quoting now, he'll take a common sense approach to the issues important to Chelan County residents. Tiffany Gehring, Chief Operating Officer for the Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce, is also running for the commissioner's spot. And finally this morning, most of the people in the crowd that you see here, about 200 people, they didn't know Norman Strasburg, but that didn't stop them from showing up yesterday to help lay the Marine Corps veteran to rest. Strasburg died 2 weeks ago at the age of 77 at a Wenatchee nursing home. And when his fellow veterans learned he had basically no family left behind, they turned out in force for his funeral. Our cameras were there.
Veterans are important. Service members are important. And not just to me, but our community, our country, our state. And none of them deserve to ride it out alone. But there's a lot of veterans that are laid to rest without anybody knowing. And so that's painful. I did 10 years in the Navy. One of the local veterans had posted it on his Facebook page. And so his name is Jose Salas. And so I took it and I just ran with it. Just did a live video and asked folks to share it. And it went crazy.
A veteran friend of mine has brought it to my attention that we have a former Marine. Well, I guess there's never real such thing as a former Marine, but a Marine is being laid to rest, and he doesn't have any family to speak of, I guess, is my understanding.
I know he passed away at 77 years old. I know he was PFC in the United States Marine Corps. He served, I believe it was 63 to 65, and did 2 or 3 tours in Vietnam. He won't be laid to rest alone. I think that's the most important thing. No veteran or troop or anybody should be laid to rest alone.
And that's a look at your news on this Wednesday morning, the 11th day of March. It is 17 minutes after the hour. Grant Olson is back from his extended weekend. He'll have the news for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And if you have a news tip for us, we'd love to hear from you. You can pick up the phone and give us a call at the number that you see at the bottom of your screen. You can go to our Facebook page if you want, and Facebook Messenger that way. A lot of people do that. And be sure to like us while you're there. Or you can email us, news@ncwlife.com. News@ncwlife.com is a direct email contact for us. Or if you go to our website, ncwlife.com, you'll see the Contact Us icon at the top of the screen. Click on it, fill out the form, and we will get it here. Going to take a break. When we come back, we got Gonzaga basketball. We also going to talk a little bit about, we got sports. The Mariners. That's it. We're going to talk about the Mariners. Plus, we have the obscure holiday today in history. We got some birthdays, Mike McNally's opinion, and Steve Harris' conversation with Sheriff Brian Burnett of Chelan County and Sheriff Kevin Morris of Douglas County, all coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You watch Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Back at it, 19 minutes after the hour. It was a close game at halftime, and then Gonzaga blew it wide open in the second half, and they routed St. Mary's last night in the WCC championship game in beautiful Las Vegas. Drew Timme scored 15 of his 17 points in the first half. The Bulldogs had 5 players in double digits. It's Gonzaga's 17th West Coast Conference tournament title overall, and their 8th title in the last decade. Joel Ayayi also had 17 points. Philippe Petrusev, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Corey Kispert, 12 points. Admon Gilder scored 15. Good job. Gonzaga, they have almost certainly locked down a number 1 seed to the NCAA tournament. They may very well be playing in Spokane. The West Coast Conference women's tournament wrapped up yesterday without, of course, Gonzaga. It was Portland who followed up their upset of Gonzaga by beating San Diego 64-63 in overtime. They win the WCC Women's Championship, first time in the NCAA tournament for the Pilots since 1994. The Pac-12 men's tournament gets underway today in beautiful Las Vegas. Huskies at number 12 seed. They go up against number 5 Arizona today at 2:30. The Cougars, they're an 11 seed. They'll take on number 6 Colorado tonight at 8:30. The games can be seen on the Pac-12 network. The NWAC tournament being moved to Oregon. They were shut down, of course, midstream last week in Everett because of the coronavirus. The Northwest Athletic Conference had to find a new location, and they did. Clackamas Community College will be the men's tournament, and it's going to be a split between Clackamas and Lynn Benton Community College for the ladies. So the Wenatchee Valley Knights will take on Portland in the first round tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. The Lady Knights, after beating Tacoma in the first round, play their second round game against Lynn Benton Friday at 2 o'clock. If the ladies advance to the semifinals, it will be played at Clackamas on Saturday. All right, Mariner baseball. Jose Marmoleo. Jose, he hit a 2-run home run. The Mariners beat the Angels in Cactus League play yesterday, 3-1. I got used to saying that. Jake Fraley also went 1 for 3 with a double. D. Gordon went 2 for 3 at the plate. On the mound, Logan Gilbert was impressive in his starting. Went 2 innings. He allowed no runs, no hits, had 3 strikeouts, and by golly, we have highlights.
Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swung on, well hit ball deep to right field. Good one to the 1-inch track, looking up. Goodbye baseball onto the berm. Jose Marmoleos with his second home run of the spring. It comes with Gonzalez on board. And the Mariners have a 2-0 lead over the Angels here in the bottom half of the second. What a drive by Marmoleos.
The 1-0. Swinging, it's lifted into center field up in the wind. This is plenty deep. Joe Adele is settling underneath, and he makes the catch. Fraley tags. Here comes a throw. Fraley coming home. He slides, and he gets in safe ahead of the throw. This ball, the Mariners extend the lead 3-0 on a sacrifice fly to center field off the bat of Kyle Seager.
He's had the pitch for a while, just trying to decide, do I go 2-seam, do I go 4-seamer, what's best for me, and I think, seeing it play out, and I know the catcher, Tom Murphy, today was quick to know, this is the best he's seen him, and he's caught him a lot. So, again, really happy where he's at, and the breaking ball has been really consistent all spring, so he's in a good spot. We keep building that pitch count. This camp for a lot of our young pitchers is, understanding what big league hitters are going to do with their stuff, and they got to get it in the right spots, in the strike zone. Yeah, it's a great mix, and that's why it was easy for him to be like, yeah, this sounds awesome. Let's do this. But what he did today was he threw it glove side as well. It wasn't just on the arm side of the plate. So hats off to him for trusting it and taking it out into a game versus a pretty good lineup. The main thing he's working on is fastball command. And we just kind of saw with the 4-seam that he's been working on it a while. It's what he's always thrown, but his other pitches are off his 2-seam grip, so they were kind of contrasting ideas. The first day he put the 2-seam in his hand, he just said, this feels great. And then, like I said, took a couple bullpens, took a couple weeks to where he has that trust in it. And today was great progress and really good results.
Mariners back in Peoria tonight. They take on the Padres at 6:40. Go Mariners. Here's a reminder of what's coming up for the rest of the week on our sports broadcast schedule. It'll be hockey night tomorrow night. We're going to air Wenatchee's only win in their playoff series against Vernon. You can watch that. It'll be Game 2 from the Town Toyota Center. It's on TV tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Friday, we're going to rebroadcast the Cashmere girls semifinal game from a week ago in the Sun Dome against LaSalle. You can watch that Friday at 7. Saturday at 7, we're going to re-air the Cashmere boys' fourth place game, and then at 9 o'clock, we will re-air the Cashmere Linden Christian Championship game right here on your home for local TV sports. And by the way, 15 more days until the start of the baseball season. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday. I had a bunch of choices for the obscure holiday today. It's National Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day. That's good. National Promposal Day. Apparently this is the day you're supposed to ask out somebody to the prom. It's National Worship Your Tools Day. Nope, not going to do any of those. Today is National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day. It's almost impossible to put up a graphic for this, so I just put that up. There you go. One interesting fact about funeral directors that you probably didn't know. A funeral director revolutionized the telephone industry. Way back in 1888, there was an undertaker, and his name was Almon Strauger. His competitor's wife, a guy who ran a competitive undertaking business, his wife was a switchboard operator, and she was intercepting phone calls to Almon Strauger's funeral home. And he was not happy about that, so he created a solution, the automatic telephone. There you go. He was the guy who came up with the ideas. Why can't they dial me directly instead of having to go through a switchboard? Because my competitor's wife is stealing all my clients. There you go. Because of him. Happy funeral director, mortician, limited. I hope not having to deal with you people for quite some time. 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, this is the 132nd anniversary of the Great Blizzard of 1888. It began along the eastern seaboard, lasted for 2-3 days, basically paralyzed New York City. The storm itself killed more than 400 people, but two really good things came out of this. In New York City, anyway, the mass transportation system, what the New York City people call the subway, was all above ground. After the Great Blizzard of 1888, they moved it underground wherever they possibly could. And all of the telephone wires and electrical infrastructure was all above ground in New York City. After the Blizzard of 1888, when they knocked out power and phone line, they put everything underground in New York City. So something good came out of the Blizzard of 1888. And it's hard to believe that Germany didn't declare war on this country on March 11th, 1941. That's when FDR signed Lend-Lease into law. As you know by now, of course, after the defeat of France in 1940, the only country left fighting the Nazis was Great Britain, and they were doing all they could, but they were on the very verge of just not going to be able to make it. They had to buy all of their war materials from the United States with cash because they had neutrality acts. They couldn't just give it to them. They couldn't, and then Great Britain ran out of money, and they were going, what are we going to do? We need armaments. We need ships and planes and tanks, and we don't have any money to pay for it in the United States. So FDR came up with the idea is, what I'll do is I'll surplus a bunch of our stuff, battleships and planes and tanks and guns and what have you. I'll just say we don't need it, and I'll loan it to Great Britain, and then when they're done using it, they can just bring it back, like they were ever going to bring it back. In any event, it basically ended the idea that we were neutral in World War II. It basically was a declaration of war. Germany didn't do anything about it. Gave us a little bit more time to prepare. Birthdays. On this March 11th, Lawrence Welk was born on this date in 1903. It's a wonderful show for you today. He died in 1992 at the age of 89. His parents immigrated from Ukraine in 1892. They ended up in North Dakota. He wanted to be a musician from his very youngest days. He convinced his dad to buy him an accordion. It cost $400, which is the equivalent of about $5,000 today. It was a lot of money for an accordion. He played it. He got really good. And when he turned 21, he said, Dad, I'm going to go out in a music career. And Dad said, go get him. Lawrence Welk didn't learn to speak English until he was 21 years old. In fact, they spoke German around the household. One music critic called the music of Lawrence Welk, and I'm quoting now, the squarest music you could possibly imagine. It was incredibly commercially successful, of course. The Lawrence Welk Show was on television for 31 years. Wonderful, Lawrence Welk. And by the way, he made a lot of money, too. Born in the state in 1903. Speaking of a lot of money, he's worth about $22 billion. His name is Rupert Murdoch. He's Australian by birth. He's an American citizen now, and he celebrates birthday number 89. Happy birthday, Rupert Murdoch. Somebody should probably tell him it's his birthday. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McNaughty has an opinion and a conversation you absolutely don't want to miss. The call for volunteers is out from the Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett and Douglas County Sheriff Kevin Morris. Their conversation with Steve Harris coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Nissan is the value leader in new cars and SUVs. Check out these new models starting at under $20,000. The all-new Versa from $17,020. The all-new Sentra from $17,400. And the all-new Kicks from $17,995. Now you can have the Nissan style, performance, and reliability, all for under $20,000.
And they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere.
Looking for a fun night out?
Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Why run all over town when you can get the financial services you need under one roof? The location is 521 Chelan Street right here in Wenatchee. Accounting solutions for success. Insurance from trusted choices. Real estate, the power of the edge. Personal, professional, preferable. It's all right here. Get the edge on your financial needs. Now available in Chelan as well. Get more information at augustedge.com.
It's our fabulous clearance time at Collins in downtown Wenatchee. Savings up to 75% off. It's our famous buy one, get one free sale. That's right, buy one clothing sale item and get the next one of equal or lesser value free. Brands like Tribal, French dressing, Rib Top, Icelandic, jackets, vests, tops, jeans, and dresses. We have boots at 50% off, select Brighton and Lotus 50% off, handbags and jewelry. Come in ASAP for the best selection at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tamer.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, you know, this Greta Thunberg, whatever, that young Swedish environmentalist activist who recently scolded the members of the UN, some folks have been criticizing and making fun of her. Now, supposedly she's young and she doesn't know anything, that kind of thing. Well, as it is, and always has been, it's the job of young people to tell us old people where we've screwed up and where we could have done better. Now, just like we did when we were younger. The hope is that every upcoming generation will do a better job than we did. But the problem is, though, each generation, while improving on some things, they make their own mistakes. Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
Welcome to another edition of In Focus. I'm Steve Hare. We have the sheriffs of Chelan and Douglas County joining us today. Brian Burnett, Kevin Morris. You're here with a special announcement you'd like to make to the residents and citizens of your two counties today in relation to a new law that we have in Washington State, which is the outcome of a voter-approved initiative last year, 940. Which the legislature, I guess, has tweaked since then and revised that law.
Correct.
But it all has to do with officer-involved shootings and the investigations that are subsequent to those, correct?
Yeah, it's not just a shooting, it's major injury involved. It could be vehicle accident. Basically, it is an independent investigation into any major use of force
Okay.
such as that.
Okay, but it's basically de-escalation. De-escalation is what you refer to it as.
Part of that rule is the de-escalation rule, and that's part of the training that we have to go through. And quite frankly, we've already been doing that. Our valley has done a lot of that training, but CJTC has established some new training. Both of us, I think East Wenatchee, Chelan County, and Douglas County, we all have. I think it was last week they finished up. We sent folks for that to be instructors in that curriculum. But what we're talking about today is we're launching tomorrow, all 4 entities, an application to be part of the Special Investigation Unit as a non-law enforcement member.
So actually there's a call to action today for non-law enforcement folks, I mean just average citizens out there who live within the boundaries of Chelan County or the cities of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee to be a part of this investigative unit, correct?
That is correct.
Brian?
Yeah, and what Sheriff Morse was talking about is through 940, when the legislation tweaked that, and they sent it to the Criminal Justice Training Commission for the rulemaking side of both for the de-escalation and the independent investigation side of it. And then you can find most of that in the Washington Administrative Code 139.12. And so through that part, they worked on the language of it, and it went through quite a process. One, they had a lot of public interest meetings, and so from all of the different people, we had a lot of representatives that had family members or loved ones that were had been we'll call it a victim of police use of force, or potentially had been shot and killed. And so they gave their side of the story and said, hey, these are the things that we'd like to see implemented in this independent investigative team. And there was a large portion and several groups that wanted to see this independent investigative team be completely non-law enforcement. And I think most law enforcement just completely said, no, that can't be. One is you got to be a commissioned person to do the criminal investigation side. So what they went to is more of an oversight type of thing. So basically what we're looking for is we want community members like yourself that are interested in being involved is to come in, and it's not going to be necessarily, we hope it's going to be a great thing for our agencies, is it brings transparency, Steve, to the process. It brings a little more of administrative challenges for the law enforcement side, because now we need to go out and we need to, solicit people the interest. But when we have a shooting like we did here a week and a half ago up in Okanagan County, and our special investigative unit goes up there and investigate that shooting, it may be in a very inconvenient time. It might be during inclement weather. It could be a lot of different things going on. So again, you said that the average citizen, you can be above average as well. But we really want people that are saying, I'm going to take a non-biased perspective and I'm going to report back and be a liaison for the community to say, I believe and trust what our local law enforcement are doing in these investigations.
So the citizen that would be a part of this SIU then would strictly be a monitor of the process then? Is that it, basically?
Right. Yes, they would be a representative.
They would
like
not
you
be
said.
actively involved in the investigation?
Correct.
Right, they would not be doing any evidence collecting or
Right.
determining what direction they'd go. They'd be informed of what's going on. An example of the rule prevents that the venue agency any of their equipment can be used in the investigation unless there's reason for it. A piece of equipment that, let's say, Chelan County has that no other entity has that will assist in this investigation, the commander and assistant commander of the team would communicate with those citizen members and say, we'd like to use this piece of equipment, and here's why we'd like to use this piece of equipment, how it will benefit the outcome of this criminal investigation. That's important too. Our special investigation unit is not administrative, it is criminal investigation. And those citizens will be able to help with deconfliction, not only with the selection of our SIU members, but on that, say, that's reasonable or that is not reasonable, and they help through that process. Again, transparency. I believe that all of us department heads, the police departments and the sheriff's offices have been working together on this, and I believe the general consensus between all of us is we're going to make this a positive thing. I think this could actually be a very positive thing. Our community out there, after these are done, knowing that they have 2 representatives on each OIS or officer involved shooting or major investigation through our special investigation unit, they can feel comfortable that there was some oversight.
So what kind of qualities are you looking for in a citizen member of this group, and what would their responsibilities be?
Well, obviously, after the application and interview process, I mean, there has to be a minor background check to make sure that there's no adverse history there. I want to back up a little bit, Steve, if you don't mind, and
No, please.
talk about, again, what it is some of the members are going to do. Because around the state of Washington, there's a lot of teams that are already in process, in place, and almost doing exactly what this legislative intent was to be, minus the independent investigative team member. And so part of what they're going to be doing is, for those teams that are coming in brand new, is that independent team member is supposed to actually be part of the selection process and oversight. And so our special investigative unit has been stood up, and was stood up after the McKinsey Cowell homicide investigation. And they said, hey, they looked at the things and said, we need to do something that will enhance the way that we do these major investigations when it takes all of the local agencies and the players to come together. So that's how North Central Washington Special Investigative Unit. So we're already running under what really almost, except for a few of the training parts of it, was almost significantly what we were already doing. So because we're already a team that stood up, they don't have to go in and vet our investigators and be team members. But as soon as our team, those independent team members come on board, we're gonna bring them in and kind of do a debrief with them, introduce them to the team, and explain the process of how they were brought on, what's their training backgrounds and different things. And moving forward, they have all of that background again.
I was going to say, there has to be some form of education for those citizen members, I would imagine.
So, and then again, for that team member, the one that we're out there asking for our community member to come on board, is, so they're going to be part of that. They would be part of the member selection. So if we have new investigators come in, they'll get to see that process, get to see how that selection takes. And again, once you have an investigation that's actually up and running, like we had here this last week, the information would be fed to them on a real-time application process. And then they can assess any potential conflicts of interest is what we're looking for. And for them to be able to come back and tell the community to say, no, we've reviewed this, we believe it's on board. It's level here, and everything's the way it should be.
Now, you're going to be issuing a news release on this week. What kind of a timeline are you working on? When do you have to have this committee select?
Well, we'd like to have it up and running, yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, but that was part of the thing, The rulemaking was done on December 5th or 6th of 2019. And so it takes a little bit of time to get, you can't just, snap of the fingers or like that and wave your magic wand and you got a team. So to put those together. But I think we have I'm looking at our actually press release here. So our first review is going to be actually for myself and our agency. We're going to be doing our first review on Monday, April 6th. I believe Wenatchee PD is doing theirs on Friday the 3rd. I was going to be out of the office that day, so that wasn't something. And this is just going to be open until filled. It'll be an ongoing process, and then it'll be something later down the road. If we have members that are on that team, and maybe they can do a couple years for us. We'll see how that goes. They may have to leave, and then we would put, just like we would any other position, we put that application back out there in the notification.
How many positions are you looking to fill?
Well, the requirement is a minimum of 2 per entity. And I can't speak for East Wenatchee or Wenatchee what their plan is. I kind of have the same mindset as Sheriff Burnett, and that is if we have 5 quality volunteers that want to do this, I would keep them on a list and submit that with the SIU for that reason. Because we've used the word deconfliction or
de-escalate.
The image, the term that we've used a few times here today. The image of the oversight person can say, I feel uncomfortable with this investigator because he's related to
Right.
people involved. That goes the same way for citizens, right? The spirit
Conflict.
Exactly, conflict of interest. Thank you. That was the term. The spirit of the rule is to make sure there is no conflict on either side, and that includes the non-law enforcement member as well. They don't
It makes
want
it a little difficult in a local jurisdiction like this.
it
because
is very
there's a lot of-
difficult,
yeah.
but we, although they probably serve very well, ex-law enforcement, that's not what we can have. Any first responders, because there is a potential conflict there, there's a brother-sisterhood in that. So although they would be great representatives for our community, they're not going to be eligible. So when you ask what are the qualifications, there's a small background because there's potential for information that they could have that we can't have, convicted felons per se see some of that information. But we're going to have to deconflict on our selection process. Can't be a relative of our
Sure.
local law enforcement or whatever. So it does thin that pool quite a bit. So it's important that people, if you're at all interested, I'm going to encourage the folks to please fill out the form, apply, be part of the process. One question, you hit it, that they reside in our county or cities. So on our forms, the sheriff and I, we both put, if you live in the East Wenatchee city limits, apply through East Wenatchee, even though it's inside the county, and Wenatchee for Chelan County. And you need to be a resident here.
Right.
And I use, if you can be a jury, if you can be subpoenaed to be a jury member, right, in that county, then you should qualify for that.
Okay.
That's the best way I look at it.
Well, it's definitely a chance to perform public service. Great volunteer opportunity for someone out there who wants to get involved. Age restriction, I would imagine 18 and over you're looking for?
I believe it, an adult.
Okay. But anything else you'd like to basically just go to your website? I guess you can learn more about the.
Yeah, we have an online fillable application. There'll be a link for each agency's website. You can print that out and fill it out by hand. You can type it, fill it in, and submit it electronically. And then once we have those, we'll review them, and then we'll probably do what we call an interview process.
Would there be, let me say in the final product, okay, the investigation has been completed. You issue your findings, let's say the SIU. Does the citizen have any input in that final document that comes out? I mean, is there anything that person would add to that? Not necessarily in the evidence gathering and that type of thing, but the final findings of fact.
Are you suggesting like a statement?
Well, either just some kind of a
I think the best way to say it, Steve, is that the citizen member is going to have oversight. And if there's any areas of concern, they bring that up to the commander of the team or the agency's heads and said, hey, we need to discuss this before we move any further.
Okay.
And sometimes they might just say, hey, I see a question over here. And then the team, sits down and talks and explains. It might be a real good rational reason on why they're doing it. It might be perfectly fine, again, and they can talk that through. There could be what they would say a conflict of interest. They would bring that to the team, to the agency, and the sheriff or the chief could even override and say, no, we're going to move forward with this. And then it would be documented both by the independent team member, the citizen, but then also the law enforcement agency of why we chose to do this. And so again, open transparency, explaining it again, but ultimately the decisions really are on the chiefs and sheriffs.
Do you both see this as a positive thing that's happening here? As far as the creating of this,
I do. I see no problem with this. Again, they're not doing the investigation. They are representatives for their community. They get to observe it and make comment. If it doesn't look right to them, they're going to ask the questions. Chief Grosclose for me is currently the commander of the ongoing one right now. Part of the debriefs. There are some good questions being asked, and they're answering. So to answer your question, will the final resolution of that investigation, will they have part of it? I'd say yes, because during that process, they're going to ask questions that we don't ask because it seems obviously apparent to us because it's what we've done for so long. But it's beautiful to have somebody that from a whole different perspective, a different elevation to say, that doesn't look right to me. Can you answer that? And that's important for all of us, and I think it's a very positive thing.
And obviously, the citizen that we have, we want those people to be really connected to their community, so they can speak to the group of people, any group of people that we may or may not have that relationship with. And that's really what it's about: is building those relationships, communicating back a trustworthy person that the rest of the citizens in the community sees. And then again, it's about perception. Because a lot of people perceive certain things, but they don't have real live information, or they don't know. I mean, we see this on, Facebook and social media, Steve, and I take it back to the shooting that we had up at Albertsons a couple years back, and there was a big attack on law enforcement and even the officer involved, and that was a really, really well done investigation, and people were throwing out, accusations and their own perception, and they really didn't have accurate factual information there to go off of. And this will be able to bring that citizen to relay back, say, no, we've got eyes on, we know that they're doing it the right way.
And that'll still happen. I mean, people will still do that, and the citizen is not going to be able during the investigation information until it's over, right? So I'm hoping that our community at large will just know during this process, because a lot of times there is no information given out, and as a reporter, that can be frustrating for you, but it's equally frustrating for the community. Just tell us what's happening. Well, because it's a criminal investigation, we cannot release information, in pieces. So.
Well, again, folks, if you're interested in participating in this new program to become a volunteer, a non-law enforcement community representative for the Special Investigative Unit, to contact either Brian Burnett, Chelan County Sheriff, or Kevin Morris with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, or Steve Crown, Chief Crown with the Wenatchee Police Department, or Interim Chief Tom Robbins with the East Wenatchee Police Department, and get the information you need and join up, because it's a great opportunity.
I know for our agencies, you can go on our web pages through the county and the Sheriff's Office. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office will have a link on our Facebook page and Instagram and different things like that, and different ways that you can plug in and get this information and see if it's something you want to pursue. We hope that we actually get a really good response from our citizens out there, and that we actually it makes it a difficult thing for us to be able to make that final selection on who we get, because we have so many great applicants there. And again, what we're looking is we would like to have more than a list of 2, again, because fate will have it. You may or may not be in town when those incidents come about, and so we want to make sure that we have a good solid 2 members to plug into any team activation at any given time.
Well, I'm sure nobody can fault you for trying to be as transparent as possible.
And I will add, I don't know about Sheriff Burnett, but in my office, you can even stop by and get an application. You can do it in person as well.
Yeah, check out your new digs. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us again. Sheriff Brian Burnett and Sheriff Kevin Morris joining us on In Focus. I'm Steve Hare for NCW Life.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill located at the beautiful Highlander Golf Course in East Wenatchee. Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner with dine-in or takeout options. Highlander Bar and Grill's friendly staff is here to serve you 7 days a week. Call for reservations Friday night prime rib dinner. Contact Chelan, Highlander Grill's site coordinator, to schedule your corporate event or special occasion today.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
We are back. A couple of minutes to go here for this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Let's take one more look at your weather forecast, and we'll start out with some graphics that the National Weather Service gave to us, and we appreciate it. As we mentioned before, big changes coming later on this week. No big deal today or tomorrow. Going to be very nice indeed. Quite a bit of sunshine, a little breezy at times. Mild temperatures. Then, whoa, baby, did we flip that coin. Big weather change by Friday into the weekend. Blustery winds, snow, cold temperatures. In fact, winter returns on Friday and Saturday for one last blast, we hope anyway. So everybody, it looks like, in Eastern Washington is going to get some snow. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, when you wake up Saturday morning, we're going to have about an inch of snow on the ground. And on top of that, it's going to be a little on the chilly side. And by a little on the chilly side, I mean cold. In the upper elevations, certainly the mountains, are going to get quite a bit of snowfall. So be prepared for a much cooler winter-like weekend as opposed to this nice spring weather we've been enjoying. So from the National Weather Service, let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast in depth. And again, beautiful day today, a little on the breezy side, maybe even windy, I think we can call that. It'll be a northwest wind this morning, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Later on this afternoon, it'll be 15 to 20 miles an hour. The occasional gust near 30 for the Wenatchee Valley, but quite mild, right around 58 or 59 degrees. 32 for the overnight low tonight, still going to be a little on the windy side as we transition to Thursday. Lots of sunshine, a lot cooler. High of only 51 or 52 on Thursday. Clouds will start thickening up Thursday night. 32 for the overnight low. Friday, early Friday morning, we're going to get a little bit of snow, and then it's going to switch over to a rain-snow mix. So the snow, whatever we get, like a half an inch, going to melt because we'll top off at 40 degrees. Then things get real interesting. Friday night, going to start out to rain, then it's going to switch over to snow. The snow level is going to go from 1,700 feet all the way down to 600 feet. So we're looking at about an inch of snow is what the National Weather Service is predicting for the valley proper Friday night into Saturday. Look at the overnight low, 25, and Saturday is just going to be cold and raw. Lots of clouds, good chance of some morning snow anyway. We'll be lucky to get to freezing or a little above. That's it for Saturday. Huge temperature variation between today and Saturday. And then it's going to be sunny and cold with temperatures well below normal on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And that's it for this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Make it a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.